They Say What They Can't Radio.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Come Up Show's Lush Hair. What up?
The Moving Forward Show.
Oh, yes. I'm thinking about Casey
keep
here.
Keep it there. Keep it.
Shameless plug for Casey. I think you need to have me on your show now. You need to have us on your show.
That sounded so good, girl.
All right. She let me do it. She like, okay.
I like this.
That's how you know that this is going to be a great... Your energy is overriding the motherfucking show.
That's my girl.
That's what's up. That is what's up.
Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming. It's such an honor to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
it's
definitely an honor.
Where should we begin?
What's your name? Let the people know your name.
My name is Casey. I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay.
What else you want to know? What else you want to know?
Where you from?
I'm ready for your questions. Come on, y'all can be our questions.
No, I know.
I'm in the other seat now. It feels good.
It feels good.
I know that's so true, and I watch a lot of your interviews, and I feel like you really do put your guests in the hot seat. Like, they be sweating sometimes.
Are you talking about no hesitation?
No hesitation. The no hesitation game. So where did you come up with that? Do you have producers?
Yeah. Okay, so I produce the show along with some of my team. They do give me creative thought on the show. So I want to give credit to them for that because they definitely give me some things I can do. No hesitation. I had that maybe about 3 years ago on the show. But it wasn't a consistent thing. I was kind of trying different things out, like to see what like gravitated and things like that. And one thing I found out in interviewing is that it was very hard for people to stick and watch an interview of people they don't really know.
Right.
They don't know everything. They don't have my eye and my lens to see this artist. So it's very hard for them to see that within a couple of, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. So for them, our attention span is like this
right especially now.
Real fast.
You can barely watch Chris Brown for 15, 20 minutes without doing something else. So imagine someone that people are not keen to seeing. So I thought, let me play a game that everybody I think would be like interested to watch and then let them see this artist's personality. That was the main thing for me. Because most of the artists that I really believe in, their personalities are out of this world. And I wanted the people viewing these interviews to see that.
Right.
So when I started seeing, I was like, you know what? I need to go back to no hesitation now that I've kind of mastered a little bit of the production world behind interviews and stuff like that. So let me revisit that now that I have good editing and, everything is starting to fall in place now. And it just felt perfect because now I built some more relationships with different artists that their personalities were so dope.
Yeah.
So,
I wanna go back to. I got a couple things I want to ask. Where at in Brooklyn you from?
I'm from Brownsville, Brooklyn.
Oh my fucking God!
I'm
Shout out to the
rough.
Ville.
Shout out
Never
to
ran, never
Brownsville.
will.
Always.
All right.
Listen, Brownsville is in my heart. That's something that I say all the time because people, the minute you say Brownsville, you see that face you did.
You get respect.
And that's that's for us. We get respect.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, not us.
Yeah, they be like, oh, dirty Brownsville.
Yeah.
Oh, there they go. You gonna
like,
rob
some
me?
of us too, I ain't gonna
The
lie.
mentality.
When you from Brownsville, you don't. I get
You
all
super
you don't
robbers.
look like you from Brownsville.
Ooh.
I hate to hear that because it's like
What a
for
person
me,
from Brownsville look like?
Yeah.
Man?
I don't think every person from Brownsville looks like that.
Right,
There,
right.
It's
the stereotype.
It is, yeah.
Definitely.
But I've definitely come from a rough place.
So you know what it is. So this is what probably make my next question more valid to you. The come up experience, right?
I'm so happy y'all came. So we can talk about it.
Right.
How did this come about? How did you like?
And did you dub it the hip hop Grammys or the Hood Grammys?
I dubbed it the Brooklyn Grammys.
The Brooklyn
Right.
Grammys. Okay, because
Right.
I had people hitting me up like, "Yo, are we going to the Grammys? Are we going to the
Right.
Brooklyn Grammys?" I'm
Right.
like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I dubbed it the Brooklyn Grammys because it was supposed to happen last year. Well, it did happen last year, but it wasn't as big as I wanted it to be like this year's
Right.
was. Last year, I wasn't able to hand out awards. It was the same aspect. I had Mama Smoke come out as
Right.
well. That was. I just met her maybe like a couple months before the first event. So she had told me that she was interested in helping me do what I do because that's what she wanted to create for
Right. For
the foundation. So I had it then. I wasn't able to get awards and just do the award show thing that I wanted to do.
Right.
So this year, when July passed and I didn't even like have no inkling that I was still gonna get it done. I just had a lot of people in my ear like, "What's up? We're not doing it this year. We're not doing it this year." And I was just like,
The motivation.
sometimes you get that push. Like sometimes people are not what you want them to be for you, but you realize they were just enough
Just enough.
to be what you needed them to be for
Talk
you.
more about that. Wait, why,
So,
why not bad?
Yeah, I'm in that place. I'm in that place that I'm realizing that we are so like, especially the place that I'm in right now, that you want certain things to be done because you envision them.
Yes.
Certain times you hold people to things that you feel that they can actually do.
Right.
You know,
But it's out of
And-
their skill set or their bandwidth.
Right, or it's just something that they said they could even do, you know? So that's how they even got in the picture.
Right.
But then, sometimes they fall short of those things and you're like, what did I need you for? And all of this stuff. But
Right.
then when you sit back and really realize and be appreciative of every single thing in your life and you realize that everything takes its course and that's why it happened,
Right.
I'm like, wow, I looked at that like that, but if it wasn't for that person,
Then maybe I wouldn't have
have
pushed.
even, I wouldn't have got the drive to say, you know what,
Right.
it's getting done.
Let
All
me
right,
do it.
we locking down the place,
Right.
we doing this, we doing that. That is enough to be grateful
How
for.
you get all the artists to come?
Well, the
be a
artists
part
I've
of it?
had for a long, long time. Like I started in 2013 doing showcases.
Okay.
And I was like one of the only ones in Brooklyn that was able to have these really, really successful showcases, like with DJ Will
And a
DJ
woman.
Booth. Oh yeah, that was another thing. It was very difficult for me. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it took at least a year and some change for me to get the okay. Like I had to really earn some stripes
Yeah.
to be able to pull it off, like the first one. And when I finally pulled it off, but like everything, like a testimony, when something is when something great is meant, you're gonna have these trials and tribulations because you gotta learn to be able to either keep that up or, you just gotta learn to be able to produce what you're trying to envision. So when I was able to do the first one and I realized, I feel like I've been put on the earth to set momentums.
Right.
I might not be the one to do the most greatest things that everybody see in the world, but I might ignite that person that does.
Right.
And I realize that I have the power to do that.
Right.
So whatever I can do on my daily wake up, when I open my eyes, if I can talk to somebody about a situation that could help grow their, whatever they're working on, or even their mindset at a certain time, because your mind is everything. If your mind is not in the right place, you can't do the right
Nope.
things.
Nope.
And I mean, I know that I definitely was introduced to a few artists from your platform, like Journey Montana. I think you were
Journey's so dope.
you were one of the first people that I saw to post her, even the Girl Code, and I even know their uncle. Like I used to work with one of their uncles. I'm like, oh, like
Because when I see an artist and like that light bulb goes on,
Right.
I wish I could explain it to people.
Nah,
I
it's a
can't, and I
feeling that you
couldn't.
get.
You know what's crazy is I couldn't before, and that's why people didn't believe in me. And I knew that I had to make a name for myself so people would believe in these artists.
No doubt. No
So
doubt.
that's what like changed within a couple years. I was like, you know what? People have to know that I'm known to know the artists that are gonna pop.
So how did you go about making a name for yourself? Like that's very important.
The showcasing, that it started there. I knew a lot of people in general that had talent. Like I can always tell, like she doesn't sing, right? But I know that she has a talent within her from the first time that I seen her and she was on a set that we were both on. And that's
how
kind
we
of
met.
like, and that
Word.
kind of like always kept me gravitated to her. I was like, I don't know what it is about her.
She a
but-
star. I always tell her that.
Y'all, can y'all stop?
You get what I'm saying? So
got
when
it.
I seen that, and then Mike had introduced me
Yeah.
like that, like yo, she's really cool. And then I was like, yo, her aura is beautiful.
Word.
And then it was like, I always told her like, we gonna get up one day. I'm gonna
She
figure.
did.
When I tell people things, I don't think they really like kind of believe me at first, but it's like, all right, cool.
She
Right.
did.
But I did tell her like I'm gonna have somewhere for us to connect that, and when I do, it's gonna be something great. So just let me get my like,
Yeah,
and I
get
feel like
everything
that
in
about a
order.
lot of people. It's just like sometimes I don't have that situation, but I'm like I know
when
in
the
due
time
time
comes.
it's gonna be a place that we connect again, because that's just how my life is going.
Right.
It
That's
sounds like
just-
Right.
A&R-ish.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's why I said I can't put myself in a box. When people
Right.
ask me like what it is that you do, first thing I do is put my eyes in the air, like, whoa, this is gonna be a conversation, you know? Because I can't kind of like. I wish I could. Maybe I am soon. I'll get it in like 3 sentences or something.
Or maybe people, like, sometimes the talent is so vast, like, there just is no one word
yeah.
to describe it.
So let me
Right.
go back to that. So I started the showcasing, and then I was able to plug artists in with DJs, plug artists in with writers, plug artists in with venues. And I always was a person that got people together and created spaces. That's what when I was thinking about things like, because I always sit back and think like, how long ago did I start like doing things that kind of led me to here?
Yeah.
And first and foremost, my mom used to work for the precinct, and
Right.
she used to do community affairs.
Ah.
So she used to throw on a lot of shows
Right,
like
block parties and all that.
Yeah, no, like it was like what do you call them?
Like
With-
events?
It was events, but like it's showcasing, but it was like like talent shows.
Talent
Talent
shows,
shows,
yeah.
right.
Talent shows.
Right.
What
So,
precinct did you work for?
The 83rd
On
in
Knickerbocker?
Bushwick on Knickerbocker.
That's
yeah.
that was my precinct. That's my,
Yeah.
that was my precinct.
Oh,
And
shit.
then we worked at PS 145. So I really noticed that a lot of my nurturing and community came from my mother.
Okay.
And when I did the showcases, it was just normal for these artists to gravitate towards me and always want to know, like, what's the next step? What do I do? What do I? So it was at that point where I started to grow with a lot of artists, like a lot of artists that you've probably seen in. Well, I didn't.
Who's your
have a
first
lot-
couple
that
artists?
was another thing. Before I didn't have production,
Right.
So there's no footage really of a lot of the shows
That you
that we
did.
created.
So
Like
tell
I had
us.
Fred the Godson
Right.
come out. Like I
Rest
didn't.
in peace.
I went right after I started doing showcases, and I created a momentum for showcases in Brooklyn. Because after I started doing a lot of showcases, everybody was like, "Okay, it's safe to do showcases. Like
Yeah.
people could get along."
Right.
But what it was is people didn't realize that a lot of the people that came out to these showcases I knew personally. So I don't know if you noticed that when everybody was like, "Yo, the energy was so crazy," and all of that. It's because a lot of these artists really know me.
And it's
And
real
they know that I'm
love.
trying to create a space for them to feel comfortable, or create a space for them to amplify their voices, and I really believe in them.
Right.
So I think that's the difference with a lot of showcases now, because they don't believe in a lot of showcases now,
Right.
and I can see why. They take your money,
And
they,
then
you know.
It's
It's
just a
lie.
number. It's just a number.
It's a scam.
I just want to say that showcases are not free. You know what I'm saying? Like these people that are creating showcases as well, it does cost them
Right.
money to do. So I don't want to look at it like it's a total scam, but then there
Some
are
of them are
certain people
scams.
that take advantage of certain scenarios. So
They
that I
mans
would
be
say,
winning and they be whacker than the ones that's really on.
yeah. So
There's a
what
lot
it-
of that going
That's
on.
what it grew into. And then after that, I wanted to create not only a space in our communities, but I wanted it to be a voice that was heard worldwide. I wanted to be able to sit down with these artists and do a in the life
Right.
like kind of interview, and that always intrigued me, seeing in the life of artists on like, you know, different platforms.
Yeah,
and
like
seeing
Right.
their
my
childhood,
diary.
Right.
seeing like where they sparked that,
Yeah.
because I think that's a lot of what sparked the light in me to be
Right.
like, maybe this is what I want to do from behind the scenes,
Yeah.
like how artists were. So I it was just connecting my network. I went to school in Atlanta. I knew a lot of people.
So
in
what school did you
Atlanta.
go to in Atlanta?
I went to Morris Brown College.
Morris
Okay.
In
Brown.
the AUC, yeah.
Okay.
I went to Morris Brown College, and
How was that going from the city to the South? Although, you know, Atlanta is a little more.
It was a very difficult transition. First, it was my first time away from home, and then at 17, I just wanted to get away from home. I wanted to just go far away.
And I'm gonna ask the obvious. Do you identify as Black? Like, what do you identify as ethnically? And has that been a difficulty? I mean,
yes.
okay.
I'm glad
so
we talking about this.
yeah,
I'm
of course.
definitely glad we talking about this
you know, I'm
because
gonna talk about it.
just recently, I had to really take notice into how I speak, because I like I told you, I grew up in Brownsville,
Right.
So I was very keen to calling my peoples my nigga.
Nigga,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And even though I know how I mean it and
Yeah.
where
People
it
looking.
comes from people that don't know me
People
from a hole
looking.
in the wall is like, who she thinks she is saying that? You get
But
what I'm
and I think
saying?
New York has a different culture. So I feel like in New York we have a
Oh,
whole
because I was a straight spick in
right,
Atlanta.
and
I was
in New
spick.
York
It
we
wasn't-
all
it wasn't-
Spanish black. We all from the hood. I think if you're from the hood, then you are part of the community.
Right.
But elsewhere, if you are happen to be of
I wouldn't say that because there was some people in Brownsville that wouldn't like.
that wasn't
What?
what it.
Like,
Oh, okay.
depending on where I was, like if it wasn't my hood and everybody knew me,
Right.
you get what I'm saying. So
It depends.
it's a very touchy. Like I had to also be compassionate to the situation as well, even though my kid is black. Like it is what it is, but you don't know what other people have been through to look at it in that type of lens. So you still have to. There's no reason for me to be like my nigga anyway.
So you Spanish?
Like I could. Yes, I'm Puerto
Italian or
Rican.
something? Puerto
No,
Rican?
I'm Puerto Rican. I'm fully Puerto Rican. My
And you
mom's
said your
Puerto
child
Rican.
is black,
Yes.
meaning you have a black baby father,
Yes.
or Puerto Ricans are black?
I say both.
All right. I just want to make sure because
I always, what's crazy is I always identified as black.
right,
That's just been me,
right.
How I've been accepted is a different story, but that's how I literally didn't really speak Spanish. As an adult, no, it's not funny because even I talk to my daughter now, like she's a 95.7 average student, right?
Ooh.
And guess the only
Kudos.
class that
She's
she
failing
got
in
an
Spanish?
A- no, she didn't fail.
Oh.
She got an A,
Spanish.
87.
Oh,
in Spanish.
yeah.
So that goes to show you
It be
how
like that.
kind of disconnected I am from also my culture because
like
of
that.
where I've been and just the
Because this is your
experiences in
culture.
life.
Culture is how you grow up.
Right.
It's not your ethnic background.
My
Or you're
ethnic
not,
background.
yeah.
Exactly.
So-
So I also feel bad sometimes because when I was in junior high school, I was able to do a lot of things in the Hispanic culture because of my junior high school. I went to
Yeah.
383.
Oh, you were really in
Philippa
school over there.
Schuyler.
Yeah, you were all in Bushwick. Okay, girl. Yeah.
So I was,
that's for the smart
where I got-
kids. For people who don't know, you had to take a
Oh,
test to get in
shit.
there.
303?
To whom
383, you had to
take a
whom
test to get in
love,
there.
To whom much is given, much is required.
Okay.
So
That working.
I definitely at that time I was able to tap into a lot of the Spanish culture. But once I moved to Brownsville and kind of there was no, touching Bushwick really like that anymore, and it was just
Straight
Brownsville
hood.
is-
Straight hood.
Mostly
Say
black,
it.
mostly
it
black
was
people.
literally, I swear, it was literally like 3 Spanish
Mostly
people
black
in
people,
my
yeah.
in my area. Like I was 3
Straight
years old,
Western
yeah.
beef.
So
That's
like
it.
I think people don't know if you're not from Brooklyn that Bushwick back then was predominantly Spanish.
Spanish, yeah.
Brownsville's
That's where I
predominantly
learned all
black.
Right.
freestyle
Yeah.
and all that kind of
Right.
music. Like,
Flatbush was like
there
Jamaican.
you go.
Yeah.
But it was, and
Right.
Sheila
that's
E.
why I said when you sit back and think about it, and I'm like, yo, I'm so grateful for everything because I wouldn't be who I am
Without
and
everything.
can't like maneuver in the rooms that I can maneuver in and do the things that I could do now because of. All
So
these
fast forward,
experiences.
what made you gravitate to the hip hop community?
That was just in me from Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style. Like
Remember
I always,
that cover?
Like like.
That shit was raunchy.
Like, I gravitated to hip hop since I was like I loved Madonna too back in the day. Like I was very edgy as a kid. So,
Justify my love.
yeah. Like I was just telling somebody I now realize as I've gotten more mature to appreciate the people that were here before because they literally walked so we could run.
Right.
And I understand that phrase now to the fullest with where I'm at.
Now-
You get what I'm saying?
You see what you said? Would you say that again?
They walked so we could run.
How do you feel about what 21 Savage said about Nas, saying Nas is not relevant?
You know, a lot of ignorance comes from not knowing, right? So I don't think he was really exposed to Nas because if
Where's
he was,
he from? Right.
then he wouldn't have said what he said.
Not
Because
20.
you can't be irrelevant if you push the culture forward to where you're at now. Like you can't be irrelevant.
Right.
That's just, but like I said, it's on what he knows. And it's up to us to not bite back
Right.
and kind of like reach our hand out. If you reach your hand out and they still on the bullshit, excuse me, I could
Nah,
curse.
nah, you curse.
Yeah.
So if you reach out, like this is where I'm at, just personally.
Right.
As you can see, I reach out. It's
You have
I
a
wanna
different,
have
as
you-
a, and as
I
a
wanna
woman,
have you involved.
As a
Right.
woman, you move very differently. I will say that because I know especially in the industry that this you are in. It's very like it could be a lot of gatekeeping. It could be a lot of like, well, I don't really know you. You know, you didn't have to say, hey, girl, when I come up with something, let's link just because we met in a mutual friends thing. You know, but you did, and I see you do that with everybody.
Right.
And it's just not really. It's not always that common. It's not as common
You know
as
why?
people
Because
think.
it's very hard to do. Because people automatically assume that they can take advantage of a situation because you're nice.
Right.
And my thing is like I deal with things all the time because I'm like that. Like I deal with people thinking like, the fuck, like she must need me for something.
Right.
And what people don't understand is when I reach out to you, I'm gonna do something really like dope, and I
Right.
want you to be a part of it. It's gonna get done regardless. Like,
If you part of it or not.
if I say I want you to be a part of this, it's not because I actually really need you. It's because I want you to
No
be
doubt.
a part of it.
No doubt.
And that's how I really felt about the Come Up experience this year. It was like, you know what? I'm not going to keep it just within my network. I'm going to reach out to platforms because this is about the artist at the end of the day. It's not about my ego and how big my platform is, how much I know, how many people I know. I just know that if I can put the right people in the room with the right energy, these artists are going to benefit from every angle of it. And that's really what happened. Like,
Scarlett was there, and since I noticed her at your show, she just been blowing up. So I'm gonna say
shout
you
out
had
to
something.
Chit Chat, put that together. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like I reached out. Like I reached out to shout out to Chloe from Talk of the Town show. I reached out to her. She wasn't able to make it that night,
Right.
but we definitely talked about Drill Artist of the Year. So I basically was reaching out to these different platforms and getting their input on these artists. That
That's
they
Rax,
normally-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we actually
Right.
made friends after that too. So
Yeah,
shout
so
out to that.
But that's what
Right.
that's literally what it was for. Like, so anybody that wasn't there, I felt like they just really wasn't supposed to be there that night. Maybe the future, now that
Oh,
they
the-
see now
the
how
next
they
one
see
gonna
how they
be-
gotta come.
Let me tell
The
you
next
something.
one
How
gonna
many
be
people
amazing.
was people hitting you up asking you? Because people was definitely hitting me
They
up
was hitting
asking
me up
and I'm
crazy.
like, well, I know you saw it. Like you just come out
Yo,
next time.
you gonna have
Pop
another
up.
one for 23, right?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be bigger than that one now.
It's gonna
And
be
shout out to
amazing.
the venue because the venue is always also black owned. Like I
Yes.
happen to know
Right.
the owner.
Johnny,
Yeah,
yes.
so that's so dope.
And that's what it was meant to happen.
Right.
Like, it was really like that show. 30 days.
Crazy, and that was great.
Crazy.
I can't say that enough. Everybody that I talk to, I have to say, we created that in 30 days.
That was
Wow.
dope.
And that's along
That
with
was
me
dope.
having a daytime scenario that I have to
Yeah.
be dedicated
A
to,
mom.
like a mom and everything else. I was so driven at a certain point. It was like, don't talk to me if it's not about this.
How was it being a
After,
mom?
then we can talk about it. But
Say what you gonna say. We got all day, baby.
no. After I was just telling people like, if you really fuck with me, I'm really invested
Right.
in this right now. So
Right.
if you want to deal with me in any aspect around this time, it has to do with the betterment of this event
Right.
because I know what it could do.
Can I ask you? This is a personal question. These things like this are not free. Were you able to at least break even, or did you have to take a loss for this?
I still took a loss because I made sure I didn't take a loss for my team not to take a loss. I took a loss for my team not to. So even to this day, it's crazy shit going on. Like people, like they did fraud on tickets. Like
Right.
I just can't believe people would do things like that to
You
me.
know how that's gonna
Because
go.
sometimes
Wait,
I'm like,
what?
yeah, like they call fraud on their tickets.
Are you
and all that. Somebody was
serious?
using. They was
They was banging on the
They was banging on
tickets?
the tickets.
You know,
Wow.
but you know how that
Right,
go,
you can't do
man.
that. But you know what? I look at it and I'm like, these are the growing pains. These are the things for the next one. So I know it's gonna be now 300 people. I know what I gotta do now
Right.
for not to lose. Maybe it's altogether calculating now with the money backs because of people
Your chargebacks. Yeah,
the
yeah.
chargebacks. It was maybe about $500.
Whoa.
The event, the expenses of the
chargeback.
event in total, it was $11,000. That event cost me. It
Sheesh.
started out with my pocket, like I had a nice hot $3,000 in my pocket
Right.
that I was like, you know what?
Let me put towards
I'm
something.
gonna be able
invest
to
in
do
it,
it.
yeah.
I'm gonna be able to do it. Because that wasn't even enough for the spot.
Right.
So I was just like in a place where it was like, and a lot of people really was
Dang.
like, well, how much you gonna charge? Like how much you gonna pay me? And a lot of people like I went through so much, but it was just like it's a beautiful thing because I realized
Right.
like who's who,
Right.
you know, who I could count on,
Right.
who's willing to, you know, who believes. Like you have to see these things.
Yeah.
This
Like,
is the
you have to-
beginning, so you know where you're going,
it's
and you
not
know
the
who to bring with
beginning,
you.
but it's the beginning of that next
Of
level.
that,
next
right,
level,
right,
right?
of
The
that,
next
of
level,
that.
the next
Yeah.
level.
So I'm grateful. Like I said, I'm in that
Learning
place where I'm
learning
grateful
pains.
for it all. Like you can't really hurt me at this point. Like
Right.
all you could do is open up my eyes to who you are.
So how was it being a mom and juggling what you do like musically and being a mom
It's
too?
very difficult because at this point in my life, I'm trying to enjoy the moment. If there's anything that people give me in advice, is to enjoy the moment because you never get these moments again.
Nope.
So like, you would never be as whole as today. 5 years from now, you're gonna lose so many people. You're gonna, go out of so many relationships.
Right.
You're gonna, you're gonna go through
You
so much
are
pain.
speaking truth, girl.
Right.
So you have to enjoy this moment. Like I was just talking to one of my friends that I've known for over 20 something years today. He's been out of jail 5 years. He was
Shout
just
out
in
to
bed
him.
with his girl and we talking like we all like because I enjoy their relationship. I enjoy they've been together for so many years. They've been through so much and I know a lot of it. And it's just like it was a good conversation and I was just engulfed in it this morning. And one thing that we were talking about is enjoying a moment. And I told him, I was like, I didn't realize I looked at my mom on Thanksgiving and I've been seeing her, look older and,
It's like your
more
parents
gray
get old. They just
hair
get
and,
old on the blink of an eye.
and I was just like, I dreamed for the moment where my mother would believe in what I'm doing and it's finally here.
Mm.
So it's like, yeah, look, I'm kidding.
No.
So you have to enjoy them. Like you really have to, because I don't know how much longer I have.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter's 16. She's going to be 17 in April.
Okay, so I mean, you're about to be done.
Yeah.
Her
And
eyes getting
How
watery
I
on
know
the
my boo.
oh,
Give us some attention.
her eyes got all watery. That's what's up, man. Listen,
How old were you when you had your daughter?
I was 22.
Okay, so I could
Well,
relate to you.
I was pregnant at 22.
22.
I had her at 23.
What's
I
your
have my
son?
son at
I'm
22.
a Virgo. Look, y'all got me crying.
We gotta get you some tea.
damn, yo, we got Caitlyn crying on the show.
It's just the place I'm in. I'm just grateful for a lot.
I love that.
I respect it. I respect your show so much because you doing exactly what I vision on doing. Because
Look, now they
the-
pouring like,
like-
Jesus.
listen,
This is beautiful though.
we created this
You gotta
platform,
feel,
right?
y'all. Make sure y'all feel.
Nah,
Okay?
we feel.
Yeah.
We feel.
Yeah.
Feel in the moment.
Feel the
it's very
feeling.
important
Nah,
for you to feel. Yes.
We created this platform, right, for up and coming artists that don't have the label budgets and the super marketing behind them that's coming up. That's actually doper than these artists that's on the radio.
I got y'all there.
But never,
That's
but
how
but
y'all
never
must
will be heard. So I felt like creating a platform.
And
so they
moving
could
forward,
come.
I think was a dope name.
We're moving forward, and everybody's saying it now. I'm like,
And I love when I hear that in conversations. So moving forward,
Right.
now I know, all right.
right, we moving
we doing?
forward.
Next step.
That means next
it,
subject,
always,
like,
it always makes me feel like business.
Right.
yeah, it's
right.
business.
Now moving forward.
It's business, you know what I mean? And I feel like you did exactly what I envisioned us doing.
A lot of people said that. A lot of people said they've been thinking about award shows. They've been thinking about just creating these type of events for artists. So I'm just glad that it could kind of like, even my friends afterwards is like, yo, I want to do this. I want to do this. And I envision it just almost like how you had it. And that makes me feel good. Like I said, I feel like I'm here to set the tone
Inspire you.
for a lot of things. The most important thing for me is creating these safe spaces for them to continue to feel good in and become who they are, because they are who they are, but becoming that person they want to be, and magnify their voices is very hard when people don't support you.
Yeah.
I know what it felt like for people not to support me. That's why I advocate for that.
Right. So
Because I'm a person that I have goals, I have discipline, I have all of these things to become who I am. There's people that are not as ambitious and not as inspired and not as motivated and things of that nature, and they need certain things to spark that in them. And they always tell me when they get on a stage, they be like, Casey, I can't wait for the next one. Like,
Oh my God.
I can't. It's always like, what's next? What's next? And for me, that means the most.
right.
Because right after that, they be on the radio. They be going to other showcases.
It is a momentum. It is a momentum that is created
like,
from the things that you do.
I love that. Like that's for me. That's what I do it for. Like keep that going. Keep that. Like they don't ever want to stop.
Are you getting your recognition from these artists? Because a lot of artists, you could big them up and then they move on.
A lot of them I don't. I realize that a lot of my blessings really don't come from the people that I do for.
That you bless.
A lot of it doesn't.
Mm.
A lot of it comes from
It
other
still
people
comes.
seeing
It still
me
comes.
do the things
Right.
that I'm doing that are in higher places.
Okay.
And then there's people that are in those higher places that'll look at me like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You just, you just.
Or they scared to lose their position.
Of course.
And that goes on a
And
lot.
I never looked at things that way because I never look at things that
No,
way.
they-
It's
they-
always, when you always think about things, people look at things certain ways because of the things that they've been through. And that's why I feel like we have to change a cycle. That's why I always say, I feel like you got to give before you receive, and people don't understand that. So let me be the advocate and let me show you how to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, so you know what it feels like for somebody to reach out to you
No
and
doubt.
tell you, and it's a normal thing for somebody to reach out to you and be like, yo, I would want you to be a part of, da 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 da, and it doesn't feel like somebody's trying to use you, somebody's trying to like, just, because I feel like everybody should use everybody. There's just,
Your talents, like it should be a place for it.
as long
Right.
as it's kind of even exchanges and it's not just one person just getting used,
Yeah.
then that's what it's all about.
I mean, honestly, what you're doing, it is a mutual exchange because it's a platform. And I know, like, sometimes I seen your numbers grow. I'm like, oh, okay, the numbers are rising.
Right.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the following starting to like.
Right.
It's been a long time.
Your DM is crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, sometimes if you don't have that amount of following, then even some artists that are up and coming, then you ain't good enough for them.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even want to sit
Girl,
on your platform.
That's what I'm
Like,
trying to tell you. Like, I've been through it all. I've been through the artists but I've been with the biggest artists that probably nobody knows because it's just like, bro, Bruno Mars has asked me like, yo, would this fit? Would you think I should wear this for the Barclay?
Right.
I feel like
That's crazy.
I've put in
That's
input
crazy.
on certain, and that was just being put in that scenario. Like I never worked for him.
Right.
Like
But you in the
assistant.
room,
I'm
right.
not gonna. Don't,
Yeah.
listen,
But
I'm
you
not
was
gonna-
there.
I was there. And he actually asked my opinion because he loved my energy. Like he was like, "Yo, I know you know, I could wear this for the Barclays." And we
Bruno.
was in Jersey. We was at the Jersey show. So I brought my artist out with me. I
See?
brought my partner out with me. We partied with Bruno. Like it was just, it was a good. So when people try and treat me crazy,
right.
it's funny because I was like, I always in my head, I'd be like, if you only knew, but it's sad that you have to know that to treat me
And that's the
Yeah,
decently.
tea.
that's-
And that's the
crazy.
tea right there.
And
Has
even with
anybody
artists-
circled back and the
Oh, of
price went
course.
up?
Of course.
Spinning that
Of
block.
course. And it's, you know what? And it's all love still, but you now you got to come at me a different way.
Right.
Like
Right.
I've had friends make it seem like I wasn't of value to them. Like I wasn't it wasn't substantial enough for them to pay me, but yet you can use me when you want to use me to make money off of me though. But I wasn't good enough. I don't work for a label.
Right.
Or it was crazy, but
Right.
yet the label would pay me to do some work for them.
Right.
So it's all about what it looks like right now.
It's a
And
big
that's
image.
what's so funny because when I put on, it's like they be like, yeah.
Social media messed up a lot of people's
I'm in
minds.
the age. I've been put in the age to be able to benefit off both. I know how to work social media, and I've been on the ground working for a long
Right,
time. So
right.
it's like it's hard for you to even think you could compete with me
Right.
in any sense of. I'm very secure in what I can do. So that's why when
Alright.
people
That's that brown
Been
girl
here for
coming
a
out.
long time. Y'all just got in the streets. Okay.
Right.
That's
Right.
I mean, and I, don't get me wrong, the young girls that are coming in the game right now, I salute them because they come in and they, but what I want them to know is longevity is what gives you the respect. And at the end of the day, a lot of people in this game respect me. And that's what kind of separates me from a lot. Like, you're not going to handle me any type of way. You know that you're going to have to deal with me in a certain type of manner. And you know I'm not going to fuck with you. Like,
Right.
I'm
Okay,
not gonna fuck with
right.
you. A lot of people fuck with me.
No doubt.
Because they know my intentions are great.
Ashanti recently went and on an interview and stated how a producer basically told her she was going to get some records for free because they was rocking together, and then when it was time to put it on the album, he was like, "We gotta fuck, or you gotta pay."
That's normal.
like, can you tell us about any
You know what's
experiences that you had?
I want to say something.
They're like, come on, Casey, just a little
You know
bit.
what's
Just
crazy?
put the tip in.
I don't want to say a lot because it's a trying time. But anyway, okay. I want to say this. There's a lot of people that people look up to in the industry, right? And they'll be like, oh, they're so great. They've done this, they've done that, right? And that's because they've done something for them specifically, right? And because probably that person was able to gain something
Yeah.
off of
Whatever they did for that person.
But genuinely, those same people that people have, I've heard people say great things about. I realized, because you was using them for this that you needed. So you have to, like they was able to put you in that position. So you have to be able to talk great about this person, right? But yet that same person with me said to me, like, what can you bring to the table? Because I've been already doing these kind of things. Like, what you mean?
So
How can you help me at all doing anything that, know? So it was basically like, you fucking?
Right.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing now? If I want to fuck, we fucking.
The camera on shit.
I
You
can tell
fucking
you
it
But
up.
I'm not going to do it for.
Right. So for me, it's already a turn off
Damn.
if somebody handles me that way because I'm gonna give you the energy that I'm liking you. Like, what's up?
Right.
Because I really
Damn.
don't like too many people like that. So if I like you, I like you. You get what I'm saying? So
Sheesh.
it's a crazy game,
Right.
And it be like.
I'm on the road here.
Talk about it.
I
Talk
think
about
because
it.
it's nice to have somebody who's like on the back end of things sometimes, dealing with people in the industry. What are some of the pitfalls that you've experienced, like maybe jealousy or either way? Like, do you find it hard to deal with men that are in
Let me tell you
the industry?
something. This is when I knew I was gonna have a long road ahead of me. When I first started doing showcases, right? No women was really doing showcases.
No,
like, and
I can't think
then
of
I
anyone.
went into the strip club. People didn't know that I was like the first person to really do showcases in a strip club. I went
He
to
was in Suits.
Perfections.
Oh, he's in Perfection.
Perfection.
Perfections had a lit night on, I think it was Mondays. They had Self and Envy. And nobody in the spot until maybe like 2 o'clock in the morning. Prez, shout out to Ciroc Boy Prez. He invited me out for my birthday one night, and I was in the spot right away. That light bulb went off. I was like, y'all got Self and Envy? I was like, you know what artists would do if I said I had Self and Envy on the ones and twos for a show?
Right.
Boom. That's
Amateur
what happened.
night.
That's what happened. I was able to pack out the spot by 12 o'clock. Fred the Godson came out. Uncle Murder came out. Like, some really dope people came out that night and performed. Like, they performed with artists that night.
That's
So,
fire.
that was when, I don't know if you know Right or Wrong Records, they were Roro at the time. They came out. Like, it was just a lot of people. You got to remember, the streets call really who's who.
Yeah.
So if you have any showcases and like, I've been like Handsome Baller. I think Handsome Baller is such an underrated artist. Like,
Shout out to Handsome Baller.
Handsome
man.
Baller is gonna see it's coming. His due is his just due is coming. Like,
He just
within
gotta
these
work
2
hard.
years,
You gotta
for
work hard.
me, he doesn't have to work hard right now. He has to work smart.
Smarter.
Your beginning stages, you work hard. 'Cause you on the ground. You want to do showcases. You want to do, because people think you're not supposed to do showcases. This is where you gonna get your ground bottom fans and people that's gonna follow you and actually want to listen to your music. When you start thinking you too big for showcases and you don't really got a following, that's where the disconnect starts to happen. Artists, this is for y'all.
I love that.
Because
Keep going.
a lot of y'all think that y'all in a place where you can't perform. Let me tell you something. When people felt like that back then with me, they didn't know who they was gonna meet at the spot.
Right.
Now, I really don't tell too many people like who's really gonna be
Cause
at
you
the
ain't gonna
spot.
see the real them.
Like, I want people to organically come out because they know when they come out, they really gonna be in a space where
No
they can
doubt.
be them and benefit out of it.
That's
I don't
dope.
want you to come for the clout. I don't want you to come because you know so and so is gonna be there. Like, for me, it's like that's where all the energy changes.
Yeah, that's a good
With
point.
the support of artists, you
Yeah.
know? If you notice, Journey Montana stood from the beginning of the show to the end of the show.
And she's so dope.
Most artists stood from the beginning. If they left, it's because they either had something else that they really had to get to. It's not because they just wanted to leave because other
most
people
people
were
was there the
performing.
whole time.
Everybody was mingling with each other.
Everybody was supporting
trading,
each other because
supporting.
that is the tone that I set. That is the tone that people around me are on. That is, if you're not with that, then
Right. What
What are we talking
Right.
about?
What we
Right.
doing?
Wasn't nobody walking with bodyguards like, nah, you
Bro,
can't
she
get next to
didn't
him.
even get to actually do what we wanted her to do,
Because it was that-
it was that
clip.
which was give out an award.
awards, right.
Because I really that's the light I seen her in.
Right.
You know, talking
Right.
and being able
Right.
to. Because I think
was
she's
so
very
good.
well. She can articulate herself very well. She's very beautiful. I just
Mm-hmm.
seen like I seen them blushing when they came to
Right.
get their
Right.
award. Like
Right.
I really like kind of vision things when I try and create them. So that's why I said like everybody that was supposed to be there, like Mama Smoke was going through something right before that, you know, and somebody called me, told me, and she was just like, but she's coming out for you, Casey. You her girl. Like she is not gonna miss it for the world. Like my relationship with her, I feel like is such a blessing as well.
Right.
Because although I didn't get to know who Pop was personally, I feel such a deep connection with him because he was deeply connected to my daughter in music and it affected her a lot. So
No doubt.
it was like it reminded me of what I felt like when Biggie passed, you know, and that kind of like hole that we had. And it was just like it was like when are things gonna get better? And when somebody is finally living in their light for something like this to happen and you know, her main thing is communication and being able to discuss what bothers you without feeling like you want to fight and kill somebody.
Right.
So I stick very close to her when it comes to trying to create a vision that she sees because I'm very, like I said, I'm very grateful to have her and her vision. And
So what are you guys' working relationship?
so I definitely do some consulting with her with
Shooting for the
Shoot
stars.
for the Stars. I am also one of the instructors with the kids for Shoot for the Stars Foundation. We just have a sisterhood. Like
That's
she don't
good.
know I look at her more elderly
Right.
because I get more of that nurturing.
Yeah.
Like how artists look at me and they be like
she
mama,
needs
and I be
that.
like mama, like
It is a
But she
vibe. It
needs-
is a
she needs
vibe.
that.
It is
She
a
needs-
it's
she
a
vibe.
needs that.
nurturing,
She
it's
needs
a
that.
nurturing feel. So just like she's in a place where she needs somebody like me, I'm in a
Right.
place where I need somebody like her.
Right.
Like
Girl, now
somebody
you making
that
me
can-
emotional, child.
I was
Okay.
watching hip hop. I was
Yeah.
watching hip hop homicides too when she was on it, and it still looked like she still feels the pain of that.
It's so crazy because I re-interviewed her again.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the first interview that I had with her.
Mm-hmm.
That first interview, she said a lot of the things that she told me on
On-
Hip Hop
on
Homicide.
Homicide,
right.
She said the exact same things. Like he didn't say bye to her.
Yes,
Like,
and I feel like
everything that I
that's
felt
haunting her. That's
there,
haunting her.
I did ask her the question, you know, what was the last people normally when they pass and they're gonna go on to that other side, it's normally like they give you signs, they say certain things, or so like I asked her certain questions that for me it built a connection with us after that. And that's when she knew everything. When she realized that I did the things that I was doing, that I wasn't just somebody interviewing her.
Yeah.
And she knew that I put on showcases
Right.
and all of that. She was like, that's what I want to do. And that's what I want to do for the foundation. So once she was a part of the experience and she realized like, oh, wow, this is really dope. Like you really like I had like
dope.
Cardi tacos, I had Fab fries, like I had
That's
people
dope.
around me that we did certain things that first one that, you know, it made this year so much clearer.
And the next is gonna keep getting bigger and better.
So
Go ahead.
before I knew that you was coming on the show, I was strolling through your Instagram, and I came across something that really I was like, wow, this going on to this day, and I know a couple people who was falsely accused of murder. You did something for this guy named Jeffrey Stokes. I'm not. How did he reach out to you, and what's
just
going on with
found
that?
I don't know. I
You
know
don't
how he found me.
you don't know him, or
No, I don't know him from a hole in the wall, but there's certain feelings that I get when people reach out to me and how they reach out to me. And he had first reached out and commented on the platform saying that he needs help with awareness of him as an artist first. So I sent them to Empire Global Network because that's where I do work in bringing brand awareness and artist awareness. I'm trying to kind of keep the personal page personal and,
Right.
and
Good work.
split the come up with the come up and
Right.
artist work with Empire Global.
right?
So he hit me in my DM and he's like, I don't think you probably understand my personal like situation. So let me be brief. He was like, if I could just have like 5 minutes of your time. And he left me 3 voice notes.
He's in jail right now.
Yeah.
Like
He left me
Literally.
3 voice notes, and basically what he was saying, I just like let y'all hear a clip because
Mm-hmm.
I realized you can't put in 45 minutes of something because people really don't listen to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It doesn't travel as far as it should.
Right, right.
So I do like little clips so that
Could
the
reach
algorithm
more.
picks it up
Yeah.
and more people see it.
I know
It's
what's
a
going
method
on.
always behind my madness. But he basically was saying that he was falsely accused of a murder. Well, if you looked into him,
I
then
looked
you
into
see his
him.
story, right? So that's the whole point for you to want to look
Look
more
into
into
him.
it, and then you actually look into him, and
like, yo, this
maybe
dude
you
is-
can help, because maybe me showing him, he knows somebody
Yeah.
that could reach
Yeah.
out. Like
Yeah.
I have people that do law that
Yeah.
follow me, so I never know.
Who's
It
gonna
might not
reach-
be me that could actually do something for you, but it
Right.
might be somebody that I put you in front of. So it was just the way he was very polite about it, and the fact that he was going so hard. He's doing more work
Behind
behind
bars.
bars than artists are doing out here in these streets. So I was like, who am I not to put him on my platform right now
Right.
and see who could like
Help
just
him a little
do
bit.
anything, whether
Something.
it be play his record, whether it be his goal was for him to bring more awareness to his music so that he can make money.
To get a
To
get a
get a
lawyer.
for a
for the
lawyer.
case.
Personally, I wanted to tell him, bro, the music is not gonna do it.
Right.
It's gonna be your relationship with somebody
Right.
that you're gonna be able to build while you're
That's
in
right.
here.
That's right.
I didn't just want to get deep into that. I just wanted it to organically happen about, because that's where my mind is at
Right,
anyway. So
right.
I'm like, let me just execute it that way, and then later on I'll keep talking to him,
Right.
as time goes on and follow up.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if I could do that it doesn't take much from me. Because at this moment in time, people don't understand, like, I can't do everything. Like, some people, they want to get interviewed by me, right? And I think I'm at a point now with interviews that
Selective.
it requires a lot. I've put in a lot of work. So I feel like to sit with me now, you have to have,
Something going on.
gotta
Something.
be somebody.
Something going
something.
on.
But I can't leave the artists that I've been working with from the beginning, because there is that stage where they need someone like me. So now
To make
this is gonna go forward to what I'm doing now, which is great.
talk to us about
So
it.
now I have the Global Empire Network, and this network is basically gonna be different people that are interviewing different podcasts of positive messages into our community of people that are going to this next level and doing. And these people that are having these shows, they have an expertise in something that they're taking something new out from an artist. Like I got somebody gonna do horoscopes with artists.
That's fire.
That's
So
crazy.
it's gonna be
That's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be
dope.
like their birth chart though. They're gonna
That's
they're
gonna
gonna
be
break
dope.
down their
Break
birth chart. That is very important for people.
I've never
who
seen
don't
that
know.
done before.
Breaking
That's-
down your birth chart is so important. Like I can't tell you like what a Lilith means and like for you or anything else, but I've broken down my birth
Yeah.
chart personally. So that's what's helped me kind of realize why I do the things I do, what I can do to stop me from doing things that I'm not happy that I do, that I'm comfortable with doing.
I'm not happy doing it, but I'm comfortable
things
doing
that
it.
you do
You
that
still
you
do
know
it.
and you want to feel okay, that's the way my design was set up, but I gotta now know that I can't. It's
Right.
not right anyway, even though
So-
I was like programmed that way.
Let me ask you, how do you feel about all this drill rappers being killed with the takeover situation, even though allegedly they found the guy who did it? How you
I
feel
have
about
a
that?
total different aspect about drill than I did before. Because, like I said, drill before to, like my daughter connected with Pop, and I was just like, what? And the crazy part about it is she wanted to meet him before he passed, and I knew people that were around him. And I was like, don't worry about it. I
We
know
got
his
you. I
boys.
got you.
Like,
Mhm.
you good. And then when he passed and she didn't meet him, I was just like, one, I had to figure out how I was gonna be there for her because it was somebody that she really, really like loved. Like I put a mural on her wall that said "Shoot for the Stars," and like it was just a lot that I tried to. So it was just crazy. The connection with Pop's mom came,
Right.
and then I see everything now. I'm like, I literally be like, Pop, whatever message you want me to deliver, I
Right.
got you, bro. Like I got you. Whatever it
Right.
is with your mom, like I don't know what it is. I
Right.
can't tell you what it is, but I'm living it. As you see, it's just like unraveling. Maybe 5 years from now, we can see what it
The
comes
outcome,
into,
right.
but, for the most part, drill. Let's get back to that. I was very close to it, and I don't know if y'all noticed. Right after the show, I got into the studio with Rax and
Yeah.
Scarlett. I wanted to create, and also Yellow Zoo. I wanted to create a certain. I wanted to create like a mixtape of most of the artists, like intertwining them, like all of them together and creating stuff, like playing a real A&R role. And I know there's one thing to do, like getting them out the box of not talking about the same things
Right.
It's hard.
is very hard. That's why it takes skill.
But it's also
To be
incentivized. It's incentivized for them to have these.
Right. But then I just heard another drill record just the other day. Oh, that gospel shit, I don't want to hear it and all that. So it's
Well, I like the drill gospel
So wait,
record.
this is what I'm trying to say to
Who
you.
sang
Like
that?
for me, I don't even know who the artist
I
was.
don't know, but it was fire.
But I just got a beat that was drill and like it sounded like Kanye would kill that beat. But anyway, let me say this. Let me get this thought off my head. It all comes with where a person is at. Like when you're ready to grow out of a situation, then you do different things. Like you see how Fabio was like, "I'm gonna take drill now." You got Alicia Keys. You got.
Right.
He gave everybody a feel now that we could go out this box
Right.
and still do drill.
Right. But Pop was doing
We already
it. Pop opened that door.
We already accepted the drill as the culture because now our kids are dancing to it.
Yeah.
Like it's already here. So now we got to figure out what to do with it
Right.
instead of shunning it because that's
Right.
how hip hop was to us when the R&B and
Right,
all that
no
came.
doubt.
They was just like, oh, they talking about drugs.
Yeah.
But this is where it ended up. So you can't shun drill.
No.
Because it
We
came.
can't like outlaw it like
It
they try
No,
to.
I
came
love it.
from-
I love it. I just don't
It came
love.
from us talking about drug dealing and all of that.
Right.
And
It's always from the same
Yeah,
thing.
it's the same thing.
I have like
It's
my
just less-
son.
It's less. They're not privy to learning music, real music.
Yeah.
These artists really. If you look at most of the artists that's popping right now, a lot of them don't know how to play an instrument.
Right.
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 How much?
Right.
How much really are you gonna pour into something that you really have not like invested in?
Right. You gotta invest in that shit.
So when you do like work hard to create a beat or to find a beat or to you want to really like lay it down now. Now you want to really think about what you're putting on it and where it's gonna go. Like
Right.
you put more thought into it.
Right.
That's what being a creative is. It's
No
not
doubt.
just just saying certain things that one you just for me drill at one point was just getting a message to the op
That's it.
in music.
And telling on
That's
yourself.
really what it is. It ain't what I think it is.
Right.
That's really what it
That's
was.
what it
That's how they
was.
were
That's what it
communicating.
is.
But that's what they're still
That's what
doing.
it is still.
I think that there's two sides of the drill right now. There's mainstream, and then there's what's on the
Street
streets.
drill.
And I wasn't aware until I spoke to my 14-year-old
But it really
son.
wasn't no mainstream. Like we made it mainstream.
No, I mean like right now. Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
right now we have.
you would
So the masses,
Right,
right? So
right,
the masses would consider like Fabio is mainstream right now.
Right.
But I mean, there's artists coming out the Bronx that my 14-year-old
My
and 15-year-old
projects, they
son
drilling.
knows about, and they're lit, and I don't know about them
Right.
yet.
Right.
And when he's breaking it down to me, gangs are not the same anymore. Like it's not blood and crip, it's this and that. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so
They're
confused.
triggering, like they're literally
Shit
breaking
different.
off gangs, and in the gang, they're making other gangs.
Yes, I
Yeah.
can't even keep
Yeah.
up. I
Like they're
can't keep
fighting
up.
each other.
Right.
So it's just
My only issues with the drill wasn't the music. The music is dope, but when you going on a drill and then after you do the drill, you go into the studio and you rapping about what you did, that's when I'm like, yo, hold up. You wildin'.
I
Like,
think that's what separates a lot of our generation
Yeah.
from this generation is what we put out there. But
In general,
to speak,
social media is
right,
putting everything
to
out there.
speak for the kids, like this is what already they have grown into.
Yeah.
Like this is the beauty of me seeing social media climb from where it was at and me still being an adult. They don't know. They grew into that. Like they already seen us.
They don't know what
popping
it's
on
like without
Instagram
it.
and all that. Like, when Instagram first started, like Riri used to comment
Right.
On people.
on my stuff.
Right, right.
Like I used to have a conversation with Riri. Like
Right.
that was possible on Instagram
Right.
because
Now
it
it's
was
like-
so spanking new. You know what
right.
I'm
Now
saying?
it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Right. I used to tell people, Riri answered me. Who the hell is you not?
Right.
Right.
Like I used to
So,
hit them with that.
Being that you're so knowledgeable about the hip hop game and you've been around, what will you tell an artist that a new artist? Do you want them to get a deal or stay independent? Which is better?
I mean, of course, you should stay independent as long as you can. The goal should be to get a distribution deal. Those deals are 10 times better than full rides from a label because one, it's also where you're at as an artist because you really can't expect a label to actually make you
Right.
make you this huge superstar
No more.
and then think that they're not gonna get their just due for that answer.
Right.
And leave you
You
there.
get what I'm saying? So you got to know what you're doing. That's why now it's playing the leverage game. How much can you do on your own before you. That's why people like me are of value now.
Right.
Because it's like I can come to somebody to help me get to that place where a label does want me.
Right. But they just came with
They
Atlantic
don't
Records with the
listen. That's
bots.
why I gotta
Yeah, so
charge.
how
They
is
don't
it with
listen.
artist development for you? Like,
A
is that your
lot of
least
it,
favorite
a lot
part?
of it was artists I believed in. So I did a lot of it on the chin,
GP.
learning, you know, and getting my feet wet with a lot of different aspects and services. So once I finally got that down packed, and I was like, all right, let me help this artist do this. Let me help this artist do that. It wasn't worth it anymore to me unless they wanted to invest in doing it. Because once they invest in doing it, they're gonna execute everything that we spoke about. A lot of these artists I was talking to,
They're lazy.
and figure if I'm giving them my services for free,
They don't want to pay.
they they're not taking it serious.
They're not seeing the value.
Keep going. Don't
Okay.
stop now.
Okay.
I mean, because you could cut it up.
Yeah,
a little
that's
bit,
a fact.
make it an hour.
I know you. We spoke a little bit about it earlier. We'll be quick. We spoke a little bit about it earlier. You said you did your college in Atlanta and you made some connections out there. Who were some of the connections that you made while you were in Atlanta? That because you came back to New York and you killing it in New York with the showcases.
Well, see, the thing is out there in Atlanta, everybody was not in the positions that they're in now when I met them. So it's the relationship that we've had in college and stuff like that. Like I have people with A&Rs at labels.
So you were just
I
friends.
have, like right now, I have a partner. We have a creative arts center, creative arts resource center in Atlanta, which is a green screen, dance studio, recording studio.
And wait, I saw you on a bulletin board out there.
Yeah,
What we doing? What's on the billboard?
Big
Yeah,
boy,
billboard.
big-
I'm in my
big
classroom
thing.
mode today. Damn.
That bulletin board.
Yeah,
What's crazy is that my kids be calling my bulletin board a billboard. They were like, "Well, I'm on the billboard."
Yeah, that's what's up.
So I saw you on a billboard in Atlanta. What is that, girl?
So, I'm telling you, like, I'm setting up to go back. To
Everybody going to Atlanta. I'm sick of this.
Yeah, I'm setting back up to create safe spaces out there as well with artists that I want to work with. And
That's gonna
artists
be
that
dope.
And a lot of the artists out here, to be honest with you, it's time for them to hit there. So
Yeah.
my plans is really to
Yep,
get
switch
them
it.
out there
Yep,
and get them
yep,
in a couple
that's
things.
gonna
And I
be
know that's
dope.
how it's gonna align. Like I always told Atlanta I would be back. I told them 2 years. I didn't tell them 12. So it's like they like whatever. But this is my GOAT year, 2023. You know they always say 10 years is your GOAT year.
Right.
10 years is where it's really gonna.
So what you got going on next? What's your next big event that we could attend?
Well, I'm not gonna do the experience until
Next year.
Next year, I want to do that yearly. I want that.
Yeah,
to
that's
make
gonna
an
be so
annual-
dope. I can't wait.
An annual event because I want now. If I spent 11, I want to spend 20 something on this one.
They gotta give you the bag for
That's
this
the
one.
goal. Yeah, that's the goal. Because now I have something to show.
Yeah.
Sponsors and stuff like that. That was. It's all about creating your vision. So now what I'm working on is I'm working on a couple projects with some artists, working closely with them, doing some development and helping them create a buzz around some projects, marketing and branding.
Can you tell us who? We want to know. Can you drop a name? Like one at least?
See soon.
All right. I tried.
You'll see me around them a lot. I am now also starting to build a DJ hub. And I thought that was the next level to where I'm at because I deal with a lot of DJs, but now I really know the DJs that are helping artists and are supporting artists and genuinely in their heart take that very serious.
Wow.
So when I realized that I'm at that place now where I'm even gravitating these DJs that are like, Casey, I know you got all the artists and they believe that they don't have to do so much work because DJs got to do a lot of work now. There's a lot of music being released. There's a lot of things that are happening with music.
Happening
like
fast,
people just
too.
dropping.
It's happening fast.
So for them to have somebody like me that has an ear for music and that knows probably more or less that this artist is worth working with, they're more prone to support the artist because it's like, I might not be wasting my time with this artist. Maybe I could end up being a tour DJ. I could be I love Lola Brooke and Sounds of Reality's relationship. That's a relationship that they build. Now you see Sounds of Reality with her, and shout out to Lola Brooks, because Lola Brooks is doing really
Lola
big
Brooke is
things.
dope. There's
play
a lot
with
of
it. And shout out to
there's a lot
Tree.
of dope
wanna,
female artists out right now.
Yeah, and I
Kaya
give a lot
Baby
of
is
them their
dope.
credit, but I got
And
it
you
right
definitely
now.
push
Lola.
Kaya Baby too. I've
Yeah,
Kaya
yeah,
Baby.
yeah. And
Billy
Lola was
B.
nominated, and I just want to say that Lola was definitely Kaya and her was so like neck and neck with how we were choosing the best female artist, and I want to say that we felt like Kaya needed that recognition from the come up because also Lola was already at a place where record deal, all of that.
Right.
So it's like we wanted that night to be specifically for a certain type of artist to win awards. You know, like we know they're next level and they're also at a place where I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna attend, I'm gonna be a part of this as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, we had already reached out to Lola and found out that she wasn't really gonna be able to be there. So
Right.
I don't want people to think like it was just we were saying, and
Right.
it's not about being better, it's about the come up. I feel like my relationship with a lot of artists is the relationship that they have with the team and that they have with a lot of different people.
Right.
And I want to keep that momentum. I want also for us to show love to the artists that show love to
Right.
us as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
That's very important to me because the come up cannot become the name that we want it to become without also the support of these same artists.
That's
Talk about
dope.
it.
So they can't, you know, I really appreciate, like I said,
And she was dope. Like she was so appreciative.
Kaya, yeah, like
Kaya's dope.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like
Kaya's dope.
these artists were so appreciative, and that's what made they put the fire in me even more to feel like gotta keep doing this. I gotta keep like putting on for them because this is Kaya. Since then, I've talked to her like she was just at Wildin' Out. My boy
Yeah.
called me. He's like,
Yeah.
"Yo, I'm with your girl."
Right.
Like you know, so it's
she
like
was fire. I be seeing her everywhere. She's
Yeah.
definitely
Kaya's
up
on fire.
next. She's
50
definitely
got
up
us
next.
signed.
50 got. I mean,
Yeah.
he brought her out when I was at Coney Island
Yeah.
Art Walls
Listen.
to perform.
Yeah, so
I'm happy in this.
Yeah.
Place.
So, let the-
Everyone's lit around us. Like everybody's lit. Like,
Everything Casey touches gold, baby. You better
That-
believe that, okay?
Platinum.
I've always felt like I had a Midas touch, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I already know these people have these great things, and it's just me showing you ahead of time.
So just
I
let
don't
the
feel like
people
it's
know.
so much me the Midas touch. Like don't get me wrong, I bring a lot to a table. You know, I bring
you
a
good
lot
money.
of a lot to a table, but I also want to say a lot of it is what I already see in these people. You know, I already see that glow, like I showed you with her. It's just I see it and I just move on
Dope.
it.
Let the people know where to find you at on Instagram before they kick us out of this motherfucker.
Right, you all getting antsy over
like,
here.
let's
Check
go.
you out, yeah.
So I gotta get the fuck
Find me
out of here. All right,
You
go.
can find me at Casey's Empire, CASEYS Empire. You can catch everything we're doing on thecomeupshows.com. You can get artists, services, and information from Empire Global Network on Instagram. You will also find that at thecomeupshows.com. There's a section where you can get services that's part of Empire Global.
So y'all up and coming artists that's watching this show,
Yes.
holla at Casey.
Book
yo.
her and also interviewers, check out her interviews to get some pointers and see what she's doing with the dope artists.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you
got
so
some dope
much.
interviews coming up. We got Mama Smoke, we got Journey Montana, we got Shamula. We got some really dope. We got Dren Star. We're gonna interview him soon. We got a lot of stuff coming this year.
There we
Thank
go.
you so much.
Thanks for checking us out, man.
Y'all made me cry.